Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadodam Varjanasaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishwakarmitam Sya Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Dev Pranamamini Priya Vanchakalpatarubhishya Kripā Sindhubhyo Cha Pattanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namo जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर सभी गौर भक्त हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगम लंगायते गिरिं यत्र पातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुवन्दनतानं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य हरे कृष्ण दंडोताल श्लोपादन गुरुदेव today is actually Ekadasi, very wonderful day, and um, so we saw last week Gundicha Marjanam. And today, after the Gundicha Marjanam was over, I mean, at the end, one devotee he came and he poured water on the feet of Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya, and he drank that water in the temple. That we should not do. Actually, officially, we should not offer obeisance to anybody in the temple. But we do it because we need to respect and the devotees actually So when he drank the charana, Lord Chaitanya was externally very unhappy. Internally he was happy, but externally he just he was playing the role of a devotee. So Lord Chaitanya was very unhappy and he chastised. And he said to Sarudhar Goswami, "You are Bengali Vaishnava. You are Bengali Vaishnava." um, so that is a sign that what is that where all the followers of Sarudhar Goswami. Of course, later Lord Chaitanya designated Lord Chaitanya designated Rupa Goswami as the leader of us. So Sarudhar Goswami has that type of role and that type of relationship we all have with him. We are we are because Sarudhar Goswami is the one. He knew the heart of Lord Chaitanya as a personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, and so Lord Chaitanya felt Lord Chaitanya uh, Lord Chaitanya felt I mean so all the followers as all the followers as the followers of Sarudhar Goswami, and that's because he knew the mind of Lord Chaitanya actually, So then after the Gundicha Marjana was over, everybody went to take bath, and after taking bath, they came for prasad. They came for prasad. Kashi Mishra and the temple president Tulasi, he brought prasad for 500 people. Wow! He brought prasad for 500 people. you know, so the devotees, Lord Chaitanya was very, very happy actually. And Lord Chaitanya invited Haridas Thakur. Haridas, please come. Can you imagine Haridas Thakur, Lord Chaitanya's mind? Haridas, Haridas, come, come. What is the humility of Haridas Thakur? I am abominable. I am born in a Mlecha family. I am abominable and I am born in a Mlecha family. No, my lord, I will not sit with you. All these are exalted Vaishnavas. Lord Chaitanya was that time sitting with Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Acharya Ratna, you know, Srinidhi, all this, with big. Actually, Haridas Thakur was also same. He was also godbrother of Advaita Acharya and Namacharya. And what is his humility? No, I'm not. I'm not qualified. What is that? I'm not qualified. I'm a mlecha. I was born in a. I'm sorry. I'm born in a Yavana family, not me. But I was thinking, Lord Chaitanya was calling him, please come, come. So always Lord Chaitanya thought of, he won't accommodate. He doesn't want him to feel bad. I mean, he doesn't want Haridas Thakur, he knew his humility. That's why Lord Chaitanya would always call him. Then who are the servers? Serving prasad is a great service. Even honoring prasad is also great service. If we learn to honor it in a nice way. One time a devotee asked, Maharaj, how do we, when we eat prasad, you know, how do we not eat but honor? And prasad is Krishna's prasad. What should be our mood and how can we eat in that mood? This is the remnant state to be tasted by Krishna. And how will the prasad, how will the, how, what should we do to really, you know, uh, have prasad affect on our consciousness and make progress? Because everyone eats prasad every day. And we all love eating prasad. They said, I mean, as well as Radhana Swami said, recite Mahaprasad prayers nicely. Govind, Mahaprasad Govinda, Sarira Vidyajal. You recite it nicely. And entire Charitamrita, they would say, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. So during the intervals, Prabhupada writes, say Mahaprasad prayers. Actually, Srutakirti Prabhu says, whenever Prabhupada would sit and eat prasad alone, silently, when some guest is there and it is a prasadam time, and they would bring prasad, Prabhupada would very graciously give little prasad to the to the guest. So guest will take it and he would go. And Prabhupada would, I don't know how many of you have seen the videos of Prabhupada eating prasad. It was very, very, actually, you feel spiritual. You see the bhakti in Prabhupada eating prasad. The people today, we sit and talk. I mean, there is nothing wrong talking. Advaitacharya and, Nityananda Prabhu talk also. But their talk is very spiritual. This is Advaitacharya, this is Nityananda Prabhu, Balramji. Right? So Sarvadhar Goswami, Jaidananda Pandit, Damodar Pandit, Kashi Mishra, Gopinath Acharya, Vaninath, they served the prasad. And Chaitanya, they brought like a very opulent prasad to Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya was performing the role of a sannyasi. He said, no, no, no. Give me some vegetables. I'm happy. So Lord Chaitanya, when he would offer a huge bhoga to Jagannath, I mean Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is very happy. But he said, personally, no, give me vegetables, I'm fine. And and Lord Chaitanya also knew, because he's present in everyone's heart, what devotee likes what. What devotee likes what. So he would personally tell the servers, give that devotee the rasgulla, give this devotee gulab jamun. or give this devotee this one. Hare Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya is instead, can you imagine? Amazing. So, but you know what is that? Jagadanand Pandit and Swarudanand Goswami, they were serving. You know? So, Jagadanand Pandit would bring sweets. Jagadanand Pandit, like, you know, if he is like, you know, in Krishna Lila Satyabhama, you know, when he would put on the plate forcefully, and Lord Chaitanya doesn't eat, he will fast. So Lord Chaitanya, in order not to offend, I mean, he knew if he doesn't eat, he would fast. So Lord Chaitanya, out of they use the word fear, he would eat that. Hare Krishna. He doesn't want Jagadananda Pandit to fast. That is a loving exchange they had. But Swarudadhara Goswami, you know, my lord, eat little sweet. See how Jagannath has tasted it. And take little ma, eat it. And like that, without even forcing, there's a mild. So see how Jagannath tasted it. Please take. And this one, and this is only little maha. And this one, this is another maha. See, this is Jagannath food. Wow. And in between, Jagadanand Pandit would come. I want you to try this also. He would put it. And this what's called Sneha Vyavahara. Lord Chaitanya would always, everyone is like, there is a barrier. You know, you know, also he's performing the role of a sannyasi. Lord Chaitanya would establish a very strict etiquette when he's in the public. But they would cross that. Especially Jainan Pandit and Swarudavar Goswami. And very intimately, Sneha Vyavahara. Swarudavar Goswami is very careful but intimate. When Sarvam Bhattacharya saw that, he smiled. Amazing. So devotees are very mildly pushing, you know, out of love. It's very interesting, actually, right? Then Chaitanya, actually, what is that? Surudhar Goswami said, I'm sorry, what is the Sarvam Bhattacharya said? Earlier, I was, I would eat these dry cakes of logic, and today, actually, Gopinath Acharya said, wow, what is Lord Chaitanya's mercy? What is Lord Chaitanya's mercy? Sarvam Bhattacharya was a logician, and today he is tasting, he's eating all this Mahaprasad, Hare Krishna. So, then Sarvam Bhattacharya said, I am like a crow. I am like a crow, and I'm feasting on the garbage. But in the association of devotees, I'm eating all this wonderful prasad. And they're relishing this prasad. Amazing. That is Lord Chaitanya's mercies. um, Lord Chaitanya said, no, not like that. In your previous life, you are Krishna conscious. Very Krishna conscious. Actually, because of your association, we are Krishna conscious today. Because of your association, we are Krishna conscious. That is Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya did not say, hey, you are a Mayavadi. No, Lord Chaitanya didn't say that. Ram Bhattacharya, previous life also you are very Krishna conscious. Actually, by your association, we are becoming Krishna conscious. That is a glorification actually. Bhakta Mahima Badaite, Bhakta Sukadite, Mahaprabhu Vina Anya Nahi Tri Jagate. So Lord Chaitanya knew how to glorify devotees, how to make them comfortable. No, he didn't say, you're a logician, somehow we tried a lot, worked very hard, finally you became devotees, thank God. No, that's not like that. One day, one devotee said, thank you very much for giving me service. कैसे लगेगा आपको? When you say, you ask somebody, can you bring it, and they'll bring it and say, thank you very much for giving service. It's you feel bad actually. You will never give them service, you know. So we have to be very careful what we speak and when. Meanwhile, there is a mock fight going on between Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. They are sitting side by side and they are eating. They said, Advaita Acharya, wow, Today I am sitting next to, today I am sitting next to, this Avadut. Chaitanya, sir, sannyasi like Lord Chaitanya, they can go to anyone's home, they can eat prasad from anybody, they can sit next to anyone because sannyasis, they don't have any rules. But no, I am a Grihastha. Grihastha means you have to be very careful with etiquette, whom you are sitting with, whom you are going eating with, whose home you are going to take prasad. I'm sitting with this gentleman, he doesn't know his caste, he doesn't know, I don't know his Gotra, I don't know where he is from, where he is from. And I think, क्या होगा मेरा भक्ति? What will happen to my bhakti? I hope it will protect my bhakti. You know, Nityananda Prabhu immediately said, I also don't know before sitting prasad whom I'm sitting with. I never thought this guy will sit and say, come and sit next to me. This impersonalist, Mayavadi. I'm eating prasad with the Mayavadi. What will happen to my bhakti? So what is that? Chaitanya, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaitacharya, they are conveying a message. We should not hang on with the Mayavadis. We should not hang on with the Mayavadis. Also, we should not hang on with the people whose bhaktis are very, who don't have strong credentials on bhakti. You have to be very careful actually. So then the devotees, they went to, what is that, next day Netrotsava. After so many days, one day before Radhayatra, Jagannath, is brought, just as they opened darshan for Jagannath, just before Radhayatra. No, one day before Radhayatra, Netrotsava, all the devotees, Lord Chaitanya, early morning they all got up, took, but they rushed to the temple. But enthusiasm is bhakti. One should have that, desire. Hey, Mangalarti is well, we'll go. If not Mangalarti, we'll attend Narsingarthi. If not Narsingarthi, we'll attend Tulsiarthi. If not Tulsiarthi, we'll attend chanting. That's not this. The drive. So they all ran to the temple. Haribol! We'll see Jagannath for 14 days. We have not seen. No, so everyone ran. And all the rules are ignored because they're seeing Lord continuously. Lord Chaitanya was standing and see Jagannath. Wow, seeing Jagannath continuously because for 14 days they have not seen him. For 14 days they have not seen him. All the rules are ignored. Because when prasad is offered, nobody should be there. But they're offering prasad, but uh, they were all looking like thirsty chakora birds. Chataka bird looks for the cloud for water. Likewise, likewise, they were all actually no, they were all glancing. They were all glancing at Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath's beauty, Jagannath was so beautiful. And devotees were, like a Chataka birds, they were relishing, they were thirsty for his darshan, and when they had Jagannath, they were seeing Jagannath, and wow, Jagannath beauty. Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Bhava me. Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Bhava me. Kadachit Kalindi. Anyway, that so they were seeing the beauty of Jagannath, Jagannath's big eyes, and so Lord Chaitanya, he was in the mood of Radharani. He was actually seeing Jagannath. The devotees were actually relishing, so they were bringing Jagannath in the form in their heart, and they were actually, they were looking at him continuously, you know. So there's a bogus samaya. Then that time after that, I thought devotee was so happy. And that day, because Rathayatra, there's a double offering. Because Jagannath should have strength, right? There is a double offering. And now it is Rathayatra. Finally. So devotees, all the devotees, Lord Chaitanya took all the devotees to the temple. For outsiders, there is no entry into the temple that day, but so they went into the temple and Pandu Vijaya. Lord Chaitanya. Pandavijay means they bring Jagannath Baldev Subhadra from temple to the chariots. Wow. It's called Pandavijay. Daitapatis, you know what they do? There are elaborate arrangements for this. Elaborate pujas are done. Then for they bring what? One after another, one after another. First is Baldev. Second comes Subhadramaya. Then Jagannath. And what they do, they tie Jagannath with silken ropes. And they what is that? They put the silk pads underneath and like this, like that. And music is amazing, amazing, amazing. So what is that? Who can carry Jagannath? So they would put the pillows, and sometimes the pillows would erupt, and all the silk would fly in the air. Can anyone carry Jagannath, the Lord of the universe? Who can carry Lord of the universe? But he's actually Bhaktavatsal, the savior of devotees. Yes, devotees only can do that. Daitapatis, they would bring Jagannath actually. These Daitapatis, and so that the gong, they were playing the gongs, ten, ten, ten. So when they were playing, this. So Jagannath came out from the temple, and Lord Chaitanya is Lord Chaitanya, money means respect. And Prataparudra Maharaj, so Prataparudra Maharaj, king has a very special duty that day. He would come and he would bring all the jewelry and offer it to the, he would offer it to the Jagannath, and he becomes a sweeper. So what is that? Though he was a king, not like today, but he was really king. Like a prime minister. Like prime minister today was really the king. So king means there will be security for him. Because it's security is right. So, but he was a king. He was there. But Prataparudra Maharaj was a devotee. What he did, he felt like his father, following the footsteps of his father, Raja Purushottam there. Maharaj Prataparudra was also a nice devotee, amazing devotee. So he wanted to sweep the road for Jagannath. उत्तम महान राजा करे तुच्छ सेवन अतएव जगन्नाथेरा कृपारा bhajana. So उत्तम महान raja, in the case is the best, but he is ready to do any menial service. Why? I am the servant of Jagannath. This is a tradition. My father loved it. Purushottam Dev, his father loved it. We may be kings, but Krishna is a emperor of emperors. That is the thing. So when he hold the golden broom, he started by sweeping really, and it has melted Lord Chaitanya's heart. Earlier, Maharaj Pratapendra served devotees. Now he is doing a menial service. These are the two things by which we receive mercy. The mirror, the decorative, the rath, huge. There were so many mirrors, so many chamaras, a huge canopy. They put a flag on the top, and there's a flowing cloth. It's like a Mount Sumeru, and actually three rathas. One for Jagannath, one for Baldev, another for Subhadramaya. So Jagannath, he goes for seclusion for 15 days. In this 15 days, he has a very private pastime with Mother Lakshmi Devi. He's sick. So he's a very private. Now, after enjoying Sakiras, the queens of Dwaraka, the Jagannathpuri temple represents Dwaraka. No? Lakshmi means Lakshmi Devi, right? They're all expansions of Radharani. Now, he takes permission from Lakshmi. He wants to go and see his friends. So Swaki and Parakiya. Swaki and Parakiya. So in the material world, it's difficult to understand. But the spiritual world, Turkey is the highest, topmost. You know. So what they did, the pathway, they just they spread the very fine sand, all over the pathway. It resembled like Yamuna banks. It resembled like a Yamuna banks. Then what happened? Oh, then what happened? The Gaudiya devotees, the devotees from Bengal, Gaudiyas, they started pulling the chariot. So sometimes the chariot would go fast, sometimes chariot would go slow, sometimes it would come to stop, stand still. Chariot would not move. Means Jagannath is telling, I will go at my own pace. I will go at my own pace. Then, what is that? So basically, the chariot moves by the will of the Lord, but not by the pullers of the chariot, for sure. And Lord Chaitanya made 4 kirtan parties. He made 4 kirtan parties. Every kirtan party has a lead singer, 2 lead singers actually, and the responding singers. So in the first part is Sarvadhar Goswami and Advaita Charya are the lead singers. And who are the responding singers from behind? Damodar Pandit, Narayana, Govindadat, Raghav Pandit, Shri Govindananda. Second part lead singer is Srivas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu. And who are the responding singers? Gangadas, Haridas, Shriman, Shubhananda, Sriram Pandit. Third is Mukunda and Haridas Thakur. And who are the lead singers? Vasudeva, Gopinath, Murari, Srikanta Vallabhase. And fourth party, Govinda Ghosh and Vakreshwar Pandit. And who are the lead singers? Responding singers? Junior Haridas, Vishnu Das, Raghav, Madhav Ghosh, and Vasudeva Ghosh. Vasu Ghosh. Plus three more kirtan parties. For those people from Kulina Gram. This is another party. So who are the lead singers? Ramananda and Satyaraj Khan. And lead singer, followers, they are the rest of the devotees from their village. Second one is Santipur devotees. The lead singer is Achyutananda, Advaita Acharya's son. And the rest of devotees, they are the followers. And there is another group of devotees from Srikanta. Srikanda and Narahari, Sarkar and Raghunandan. They are the lead singers. And their group, other devotees, they are the followers. Wow. And these 4 plus 3 groups came, they started singing. And Lord Chaitanya performed a miracle. Everyone was feeling Lord Chaitanya was personally present in all the groups. Wow. Who's only few devotees saw this. Who's that? Sarvam Bhattacharya. The inner intimate devotees of Lord Chaitanya. And one more. Maharaja Pratapruddra. That is Lord Chaitanya's mercy. If you see so far, initially Lord Chaitanya gave a cloth. Installment 1. Second, he gave his son, Lord Chaitanya gave mercy to his son. And he embraced him. And Pratapruddra Maharaj embraced his son. Third one, what is that? This mercy. He's seeing Lord Chaitanya being present in every group, dancing, Haribol. So Lord Chaitanya explained 7. And the devotees are telling, Hari, Hari, Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, So, and what happened? Jagannath Swami stopped the Radha just to watch Lord Chaitanya dance. You know, Mm. You just watch the Lord Chaitanya dance. China stop. Lord Chaitanya was jump, arriba, jump is the air. And when he would fall on the ground would shake. The tears would flow from Lord Chaitanya's eyes as a flood. Wow. Tears would flow from his eyes as a flood. Amazing. You know, sometimes Lord Chaitanya would exhibit a pastime as Supreme Lord Krishna. Sometimes he would exhibit as a devotee. You know? So his Lord Chaitanya's masters are very mysterious. And one sometime what he did, he started, thinking he was fully absorbed. He was fully absorbed in dancing. What is that? So the Leela Shakti took over. The Leela Shakti took over, facilitating things. The Leela Shakti took over facilitating things. And Lord Chaitanya was dancing for Jagannath pleasure. You know, he was dancing for Jagannath pleasure. And he was singing. नमो ब्राह्मण्यदेवाय गो ब्राह्मण्यहिताय च जगद्हिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नाहं विप्रो न च नरपतिर्. So we sing this when we offer bhoga to the Lord, we sing this verse, right? Then what is that? One more. We also offer, So Lord Chaitanya was folding his hands and uh, what is that? नाहं विप्रो न च नरपतिर्नापि वैश्यो न शूद्रो नाहं पर्णी न च गृहपतिर्न वनस्थोऽयतिर्व किन्तु प्रोद्य निखिल परमानंद पूर्णामृताब्धेर् गोपी भर्तृपदकमलयोर् दास दासान दासा. My Lord, what is that? Oh, your Supreme Lord, if who would offer pleasure to the cows and Brahmins, and who looks for the welfare, who takes care of the welfare of this metal world. Jagat Hitaya, Krishnaya, Govindaya, who gives the protection to the cows and senses. Then I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya or Sudra, I am not a Grihastha, I am not a Brahmachari, I am not a Vanaprastha, I am not a Sannyasi. Then who are you? Gopi Vardha I am servant of Master of Gopis, Krishna. Servant of servant. Kulshekar Alor, in Mukundamala Sotra, he writes, Tad Britya Britya Paracharga Britya Brityasya Britya. Parlokanada. My Lord, I am your servant of 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 servant. Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandanoso. Jayati Jayati Krishna Vrishnivam Sapradeepa. Jayati Jayati Megasyamala Komalango. Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanasho Mukunda. Mukundamala Stotra. Again, Kulshekar Alor. So Lord Chaitanya was reciting. And he recited one more verse. Jaiti Jananivaso Devaki Janmavado Yaduvara Parishat Swair Dorbir Asyan Adharmam Stirachara Vrijinagna Sushmita Sri Mukhina Rajapuravanitam Vardhayan Kamadevam. That's from Bhagavatam. So these four verses he quoted. So Lord Chaitanya offered again and again and again, he offered obeisance to Lord Jagannath. And he offered prayers. And when he would dance, what are his dance symptoms? Jump up in the air, you know, and he would roar. Then he would swirl like a wheel. And because Lord Chaitanya is like golden color, right? Ujjvala Varna Gauravara Deham. Because it the Vilasita Bhava Videham. So that Ampranamamicha Sri Sachitanayam. So when he was swirling around, wow, devotees were, it was like there's a fire circle so fast. Zoo, 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 zoo. Yeah, that's enough. That's Krishna, you know. And as he was doing it, when wherever he would step, the mountains and hills would shake. Wow! And when he displayed, when he was dancing, he displayed this blissful symptoms of Ashtasatvika Kara. Suddenly, he would become stunned, horripilation, perspiration, and what is that? Trembling. His body would become would become pale. You know, um, uh, body also exhibited all these ecstatic symptoms. And what is that? Nityananda Prabhu and Advaitacharya. So they would follow because sometimes you would fall down, right? So devotees were very concerned. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya would become breathless. That is another symptom of ecstasy actually. Whole life. Devotees be like, then when devotee would see that, they would stop. Hare Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya would run and come back and dance. Whoa! So Nityananda would, would make sure he would not fall down and catch. And others are Haribol, Hadvacharya would run behind Nityananda Prabhu. And everyone was stunned. So they made a circle around Lord Chaitanya. First circle was Nityananda Prabhu circle. Second circle, Kashishwar and Govinda, Lord Chaitanya servants. Third circle, Maharaj Pratap Rudra and his associates. And Lord Chaitanya would dance. Wow. So as Lord Chaitanya was dancing, you know, I told you right, he was present in all these seven groups, and the Lord Chaitanya is dancing is ecstatic. Tears would flood like a syringe, and whoever is around, they would be flooded. And Lord Chaitanya, the body goes through the different forms and different emotions. So Srivas was absorbed. But Maharaj Prataparudra's minister, Harichandran, even though Srivas was actually unknowingly was blocking Maharaj Prataparudra. So Harichandran, what he did, he was pushing. So Harichandran, I can actually, I can guess. So he was telling, wait. Somebody's pushing as he was looking. Again, somebody's pushing, he was looking like this. Somehow he wants to see the dance. He was pushing, he became so angry, he turned back and slapped. And he slapped. This is the minister for Pratapadra Maharaj, and you're slapping him. You're simply a villager from you're a devotee. Of course, this is not the money, I'm sorry. But material terms, that's how people regard actually. So he became angry. I'm a minister, how can you do this? You know, you know. So he became so angry, he wants to react. That's the nature. So sad. Immediately, but Maharaj Prataprutra, what is his goal? His goal is to attain the love of God. His goal is to attain the perfection of life. He already got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He's already tasting. His associates are who? Sarvamataacharya. His associates are who? Ramananda Raya. So he already got divine mercy. He was not agitated. भाग्यवान तो मी है आस्था स्पर्श पहला अरे हाउ फॉर्चुनेट यार यू गॉट द टच ऑफ श्रीवास ठाकुर अमेजिंग मानना पड़ेगा आपको हमारा भाग्य नहीं तुम्ही कृतार्थ होईल दैट इज नॉट रिटन ऑन माय फोरहेड हमारा भाग्य नहीं वो दैट इज नॉट रिटन ऑन माय फोरहेड कितना भाग्यवान हाउ फॉर्चुनेट आर यू अमेजिंग तुम्ही कृतार्थ होईल you attain the perfection of life that's why what makes difference in our life is knowledge. What makes difference in our life is knowledge. As problem comes, how do you address a problem? Opportunity to make a progress, opportunity to turn the problem into a solution. So many scientific solutions came because of problems. Or get crumbled and no, problems come only to me. My life is waste. What makes difference is knowledge. If our goal is go back to Godhead, whatever happens in our life, whatever happens in our life, we are not worried at all. My Lord, thank you very much. Not that a fever comes, my Lord, thank you very much. I'm so fallen, you give me fever. But some problem in the temple, some problem with the devotee. No, I am right, he's wrong. No, if we understand Krishna is giving, we're exposed to all the problems for our purification, we accept it with gratitude. And what is this is also, I don't think nobody will beat you up. You are a prime minister. I mean, you're some minister of Prataprudra. And you're personally standing with Prataprudra. But immediately stopped him. No, no, no. How fortunate you are. I'm not that much fortunate. So Lord Prataprudra Maharaj saved him from committing Vaishnava Aparadh. And he made a progress at the same time by saying, I am I am not that much fortunate to get the touch of a Shivastakar. Wow. He made progress and he stopped one devotee, one person from committing Vaishnava. You know? So then Lord Chaitanya was dancing. Uh, and he was dancing and Jagannath was in it. Jagannath was astonished to see the dance. Wow. So Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, see, is Jagannath. Jagannath is watching. The person dancing Lord Chaitanya, same person, seer and seen, same. The person who is dancing and the person who is watching, same. That is the beauty. Evolve. And what is that? And Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami explains as he was dancing, the ecstatic symptoms he was experiencing. When he would jump high in the air, he would exhibit this Ashtasatipikara. The hairs would stand on end. The goosebumps, they become like thorns, because they become so like thick as a thorn, the blood would come. The hairs would stand on end and the blood would ooze. The hairs would stand on end and the blood would come out of that. And his body resembled silk cotton tree with thorns. Simile tree. His body resembled a simile tree. And in the ecstasy, you would see his teeth, teeth would chatter so much. Devotees would think they will fall down. They would become so loose. And from the body flowed sweat, perspiration flow. And from this thorn like goosebumps, blood would flow. And tears of like a syringe flood, and all the devotees would become back. Ah. It is said, the Ganga that emanated from the feet of Vamandev is coming out nice now. That much water. Imagine, you're holding a pump and you read. It will flood. And the complexion, Arjuna is golden, right? So his complexion would change from white to pink. Sometimes he was stunned. Sometimes what is that? Lord Chaitanya was stunned. And sometimes he would roll on the ground. He would roll on the ground. So when he would roll on the ground, he would appear like a golden mountain rolling on the ground. Wow. Sometimes his hands and legs, they become so hard like a piece of wood. He cannot move. And sometimes his breathing would stop. Sometimes his breathing would stop. And sometimes the water would flow from nose and mouth continuously as he would, dance. And, and sometimes the foam would fall from the mouth, flood, and Subhananda would grab and drink it. Subhananda is the one is very expert in relishing prema, the relishing rasas. He would grab it and drink it. The mucus would flow from the eye, nose. The water would flow from nose, mouth. Madanakhya Mahabhava. No one can exhibit. You then seeing his thing, Sarudar Goswami, he started singing. Sarudar Goswami started singing, seeing his mood. After this wild dance, Lord Chaitanya's mind, he danced for a long time. Then what he did, now his mind entered into the mood of ecstatic love, prema. So, Lord Chaitanya came to release the mood of Radharani, right? So that now it's Jagannath is in front. Actually, one time, what is that? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this. Rasa Panchadhyayi, Bhagavatam 27, 10th again, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. These 5 chapters, they are called Rasa Panchadhyayi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, approach with dignity. The Raslila happened between Krishna and Gopis, and Lord Chaitanya and Jagannath. Same. The Raslila between the Krishna and devotees, and the Raslila between the Lord Chaitanya dancing between Jagannath in front of Jagannath. Same. But when you see Lord Chaitanya dancing in front of Jagannath, you don't see. You're not alarmed actually. Why? Lord Chaitanya is sannyasi, and Jagannath is on the top. But what? And what happened? Whatever happened between them is same. That is Raslila also. But here, because Lord Chaitanya is very strict sannyasi and is dancing in front of Jagannath, surrounded by the very, 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 very exalted devotees, you don't get any wrong feelings. But Radhana Swami said it is same. Anyway, the point is, when Sarudar Goswami knew, he can detect the change of moods of Lord Chaitanya. And what he did, Saita Parana Nathapainu Yatalagi Madana Dahane Jurigenu. So he starts singing the song. He starts singing the song. And oh my Lord. What is that? In my prime youth, the person who has stolen my heart is in front of me again. This Radharani is telling Krishna at the time of Kurukshetra. This Radharani, these are the words of Radharani when she met Krishna in Kurukshetra. So when he started saying, Lord Chaitanya started. And Jagannath started moving slowly. Actually, it is said, sometimes the 7 Kirtan parties, sometimes Lord Chaitanya would purposefully stay behind. Because God is moving. And just to see whether Jagannath is actually, Jagannath is aware or not. But when Lord Chaitanya would go behind, Lord Jagannath would. Jagannath is telling, no, I will not go without you. I will not go without you. So there is a competition between Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya. So when Lord Chaitanya would come in the front and start walking, then chariot would walk. And Jagannath would go. The chariot would move. When Lord Chaitanya would stay behind, the chariot would not move. You know, oh, what is that? uh, so as the little Jagannath was moving slowly, Lord Chaitanya started enacting the song with his hands. He was, as I said, he was when he would fall behind, Jagannath would stop. You know. um, so what is the significance of Rath Yatra? Jagannath Puri temple represents Dwarka, and Gundicha temple represents Vrindavan. My Lord, we have been waiting for you for so long. क्या आप हमको भूल गए आप? You forgot us? Please come. So Jagannath is telling, that is the Lord Chaitanya is Radharani telling. Jagannath is telling, no, no, I didn't forget. So when Lord Chaitanya would go behind, he would not move. Stop. Huh? So Jagannath is telling, no, I never forgot you. We'll discuss this more. So Jagannath Rath Yatra means bringing Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. So when gopis met Krishna in Vrindavan, as in Kurukshetra, this very long time. But here now Krishna is crowned, and what is that? So many queens, so many ministers, and servants, soldiers, elephants, chariots. No, this is not the Krishna we know. Krishna in Vrindavan, wearing forest flowers, playing flute. Barabida Nadavarapu Karnayo Karnikaram, Vivrutwasa Kanakapis, Vaijayanti Chamalam, Randran Vendradara Sudiyo Gopi Vrindai, Vrindarinyam Supadaranam, Pravishad Gita Kruti. So he's decorated with his hair is decorated with forest flowers, wearing a yellow garment, Kanaka Kapisam, and he has a garland of Vaijayanti Chamalam. And he's putting the nectar in the holes of the flute. What is the nectar? Nectar of the lips. Adhara Sudayo. And is calling. Standing in a threefold bending form on the bank of Yamuna every day. Ramate Yamuna Pulinavane Vijayi Murari Raguna. So on the threefold, standing in the threefold bending form on the bank of Yamuna, standing in the sand dunes of Yamuna, the Supreme Lord is playing on his celebrated flute Vamsi on the fifth note, calling all the living entities. You know. So, so what is that? That is Radhyadra. Radhyadra means bringing Krishna from Kurukshetra. Bringing, uh, bringing Krishna from Kurukshetra. Vrindavan. We're all waiting. You know. So, what is that? Uh, so Lord Chaitanya in the mood of Radharani. Uh, so in the understanding Lord Chaitanya's mood, Sarvadhara Goswami was singing. And only nobody could understand. So actually Lord Chaitanya started singing. And nobody knew the purport of it. But only one person understood it. That is Rupa Goswami. Only one person understood it. And that is Rupa Goswami. So we will discuss this next week. And we'll discuss this next week. And this Rath Yatra. Actually, no, there is nothing higher than Gaudiya Vaishnavism, the Bhakti, Vrindavraja Bhakti, and especially Lord Chaitanya's, it takes us to the heights. So, so to enter into that lila, What is the qualification? Humility, service attitude. It's very important. Time is a time is running out for all of us. Hare Krishna. Time is running out for all of us, right? You know, my request to you, that persons who are very sincere, you know, sincere and what is that, humble, service oriented, and with they receive the mercy of they receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. You know, then eventually they will enter into the Leela of Radha and Krishna. So we'll continue this next week. I'm sorry, there's like what is it? A ground hog or a pig that eats stool. You know, trying to explain the sweetness of halwa. You know, halwa Mahaprasad. I'm like that. I know it's very. I have zero qualification except a tiny desire to present it. You know, I know I'm not doing any justice, but I still have a desire to continue. My request: if you are sincere, you'll get that mercy. Thank you very much, and we'll continue next week. The Rath Yatra, it goes how Maharaj Prataprutra got the mercy. Um, what is that? Lord Chaitanya and Jagannath Swami. What are the further loving exchanges? We will see that next Wednesday. Till then, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Nitai Gaura Prema. Thank you. Amen.